Hey guys, Silver Shady here. Welcome back to another episode of Pokemonday. And today we're going to be going over a Expanded Decidueye Vileplume list. This has got to be one of my new favorite decks. Just something I've been testing for a little while, so let's get right into it. I'm going to start off with 4 Owlets, 4 Dartrix, and 3 copies of Decidueye. If I had a 4th copy, I'd probably run it, but I don't, so I don't. And we also run 2 copies of Oddish, 2 copies of Gloom, and 2 copies of Vileplume. Naturally, Vileplume, once it comes into play, locks down items for both players. So, paired with Decidueye, you can imagine how disgusting that gets. We also run for our primary attacker, being 2 copies of Lugia EX. We also run 1 copy of Tauros GX. The main idea behind this is basically it racks up a ton of damage and then you can just rage for giving it all back to your opponent. We also run 1 copy of Meowth from Fates Collide. Meowth is a really interesting choice. It's Turmoil Strike for a double colorless energy. Does 50 damage to one of your opponent's Pokemon that already has any damage counters on it. Main reason behind running this is Trubbish has 70 HP, so after 1 single Feather Arrow, a Turmoil Strike will actually knock out a benched Trubbish before it has the chance to screw you over by turning into Garbodor. Which, as I'm sure you can imagine, based on this as an ability-based deck, really fucks us over. So, just a good tech card to have in here. As far as our support goes, we run 2 copies of Shaymin EX for draw power, and 1 copy of Jirachi. Jirachi, its Stellar Guidance ability. Once, when you play this Pokemon from your hand onto your bench, you may search your deck for a supporter card, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. You shuffle your deck afterward. Now, it should be noted, come next set with Guardians Rising, that actually will be changing, as Tapu Lele is by far superior, and while I think I'll still keep 1 copy of Lugia in there, we will probably have 2 copies of Tapu Lele in here instead of the 1 Jirachi. Anyway, but that's the next set, which isn't coming out until May, so nothing to worry about yet. On to our supporters, though. We run 4 copies of Sycamore, 3 copies of N, 2 copies of Lysander, and 1 copy of Lily. Now, the main reason we run Lily is because we run Jirachi. First turn Lily, being able to draw you up until you have 8 cards is actually really powerful, especially when you can turn an Ultra Ball into Jirachi, which then turns into a Lily. So, just a good card to have, especially when you're running something that can search out supporters very easily. Onto our stadiums. This should not come as a surprise to anyone, but we run 4 copies of Broken Vine Space, also known as Forest of Giant Plants. Basically allows our grass Pokemon to evolve on the same turn they're played. For our items, we run 3 copies of Floatstone, mostly for Vileplume, although I usually find myself attaching 1 to my active Meowth. And as far as our items go, which naturally, because of Vileplume, we don't run many, we run 4 copies of Ultra Ball, 3 copies of Level Ball, we run 4 copies of Trainer's Mail, and 1 copy of Revitalizer. Naturally, just a lot of search to get everything out. But not so much that it locks us down. And then to round out the list, we run 4 copies of Double Colorless Energy, and 3 basic grass. Not a whole lot of energy to work with, so you do have to be careful with that. I still feel that this is probably one of the best decks that I've played in a while. Definitely is fun to play, though. Anyways, Also, sorry about last week. I know there wasn't a Pokemonday video that came out last week. We were it was a little bit hectic. And not to mention I was testing this list out. At some point soon, I do plan on going over the leaks for next set that have been announced. Not sure if that'll be next week or when that'll be, but definitely something we're going to be looking into. Also, right here, this is your code card for the week. I believe it is another pack of Sun and Moon, if I recall correctly. Silver Melody's being kind enough to hold that up for you right now with a Premier Ball. So, with any luck, hopefully you guys will pull a Gold Ultra Ball up. Yeah, I can talk today. English good. Hopefully you'll pull a Gold Ultra Ball out of that. Again, just let me know in the comments below what you pull. Would like to actually hear about that. Anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. And we'll see you in the next one.